Hey there, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. My name is Raven, and today we are doing a cozy reading day vlog. I started scheduling out reading days every month this fall, I think, and they're becoming something that I really look forward to, and I was really excited to try and vlog one of these days. As a kid, I was a really avid reader, and I wanted to grow up and be a part-time author / marine biologist / dog trainer. Reading was safe and adventurous, and altogether one of my favorite ways to spend my time. I read a little less towards the end of high school when I started watching YouTube content, and I turned 18 and went through a lot. Reading was something that sort of fell out of my life. I still had my books and I felt safe with them, and I still associated them with all these good things, but I didn't have the energy to focus for a long time, and I felt guilty doing anything that wasn't productive or financially beneficial. I didn't set out to start reading again, but when the pieces of my personal foundation were getting rebuilt with therapy and medication and all of the layers of things, reading YA fiction just slowly eased itself back into my life and has been making me really happy. Over the summer, I started trying to get in the habit of reading a little bit every morning, and I had several books that completely sucked me in, and I unintentionally lost the entire day reading. It was a really joyful and enjoyable experience, but also mentally exhausting, and something that I wanted to be more prepared for to experience again. Thus, planning out monthly reading days became an intentional part of my planning routine. This day, I was reading All the Tides of Fate by Adelyn Grace. I have a lot of really good things to say about her other books, but not as many to say about this book in particular. I found her other series, the Belladonna series, by accident at Barnes & Noble on a little lunch date with my spouse, and to be honest, I wasn't interested in it based off the description or cover art. I just had a weird nagging gut feeling that I needed to get it and read it anyways, and I devoured that book and its sequel. I've been talking about her books in the last couple of videos. I think I talked about them a little more in a different video, so I'll leave it by saying the premise of the series was really good, and while I wasn't a fan of every plot point, I wasn't unhappy with any of it. The third book of that series comes out next year, so I wanted to check out her first duology in the meantime. All the Tides of Fate is the sequel to the first book, and the first book is All the Stars and Teeth. I really liked the first book. It's really different from her other series, and since this was her first book, it doesn't have as much polish as her newer series, which I think is really cool, and it shows that she's growing as an author. The world in this book is really cool, and the main character was refreshing. I really like how Adelyn writes her main characters because they're distinctive and flawed and likable and believable as people. The first book is about a princess who is in a magical world. Her entire kingdom is made up of separate islands that all have different magical methods and styles that are very different, and they're not allowed to really share their magical practices with each other. The main twist is that she has a special kind of magic that is dubbed dangerous, and only the royal family is allowed to practice it. It's pretty graphic of a magic. I liked it. I did like the magic that she had. I wouldn't have called it what it's called, but that's fine. But basically, the entire book takes place after she messes up pretty badly and is possibly going to be executed for how bad of a mess up she did. Her only way to get around it is to break out of prison with a pirate while her fiance is a stowaway on the ship, and they have to break a curse in a different island, the island of curse magic, obviously. The book just follows them around while they try and handle all of that. It was really fun. It had mermaids, it had pirates, it had a little bit of romance, and it was really enjoyable. All the Stars and Teeth hit everything that I didn't know I needed, and I genuinely loved the plot, pacing, characters, and the ending. And then All the Tides of Fate undid all of that. I won't get into it too much because I don't think you can even talk about the second book without spoiling the ending of the first book, but I will say that there were some good things that I did like, and they were outweighed by the things that I didn't like. I loved how the effects of trauma were depicted, and some of the scenes felt vivid and similar to how I would describe my own similar experiences without being too heavy or triggering for me. I liked the way different friendships were explored and the way that support was shown in more than one way. I really hated the ending. It felt like the main conflict was a fever dream that was from a completely different book that exploded in a few pages out of nowhere. I think it could have worked if there were a lot of changes, but the final result that did happen felt very out of place and a bit rushed. I kept going back and rereading parts thinking that I had zoned out and missed things by not paying attention, but then I just saw that I had read everything properly and rereading didn't really clear things up for me. And the very ending itself made me mad in the not good way. I tried to bottle it up and not rant to my husband when he got home, and I ended up angry crying about it later on in the shower about how much I didn't like several aspects of the book, which is a little dramatic, I know. Obviously, this is all an opinion, and that doesn't make my interpretation right, and I wouldn't discourage anyone from reading the books. Like I said, I really did like a lot of her writing, and 3 of the 4 books I have read from her had me singing high praises, and I stand by those opinions. But this book just wasn't my favorite. If you've read this book or any of her other books, please talk to me about it in the comments. Right now, I don't have any friends that I've been able to convince to read them, so it's been very one-sided gushing, and I would love to have some conversations about the books with more people. Also, let me know if we like the whole reading day vlog. I have one more of these filmed, but I would appreciate some input in the comments. Do we want more of these? Is there anything I should change about the next one I film? Do you hate my taste in literature and want me to stop pushing bad books? Let me know in the comments. Or if you're up for an emoji challenge, describe your favorite book in emojis and let us guess. I hope you enjoyed this. I've been nervous about how this type of vlog would come together. I hope you're having a wonderful day, or that tomorrow is better. Please hit subscribe if you want to see more content in the future, and I will see you guys next time.